How would you summarise your time at Queen's Park Rangers?
I think my time was, I had a great time at QPR. Listen, whatever you do, as soon as you step into the seat as the manager, you've got knockers straight off the bat, haven't you? Some people are going to say, well, what's he done? Why has he got that job? Who's he picking? Your life becomes public straight off the bat. It's public enough when you're not the manager. So far less when you become a manager, you're going to be, don't forget, if you're the manager in the Premier League, you're only one of 20 people in the country. And you think how the game's like a religion here. So, the spotlight's bang on you. I've got to admit, I wouldn't want to do it again. I'd want to do it from a professional point of view of coaching and being a manager. But it's not that enjoyable. For me, it wasn't that enjoyable. The experience was great, but and it's not that it wasn't enjoyable from the point of view of doing the job, is the inverted commas fame part of it. I'm not saying I'm not a massive famous person like Harry Redknapp or Sam Allardyce or anything like that. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that the spotlight's on you all the time. That's not me. I don't like that from a personal point of view.
How would that impact you personally, Chris? So what kind of things would happen around that element of fame and attention based on you now being a Premier League manager? What does that look like in respect of the position you're in?
Well, it just means that people see you all the time. You can't act yourself all the time, because nowadays you've got cameras. Everyone takes a picture all the time. You can't have an argument in Tesco's because that's going to be in the paper. You can't, do you know what I mean? You can't do things that people do. People don't realise. If you're a Premier League manager, and listen, mine was short lived. But if you're a Premier League manager, you're public property. So most of the time, I just like living a normal life. So I'd take my little niece to the pitches. Do you know what I mean? That's normality for me, or just go out with my mates for a drink. But you've always got that in your mind that there's always somebody waiting to trip you up. And I don't think that's very comfortable. And you know what it's like now. And you have to accept it. Once you step into that arena, you have to accept that the press people have got a job to do as well.
Was it Tony Fernandez, the owner at that time?
Ruben Gannon as well. Yeah, they were the two. And Amit Baha.
And how was that for you in terms of leading up? So you're now responsible for the players, but obviously dealing with ownership and hierarchy, which might be different to your previous roles. From a leadership and management point of view, can you elaborate on how you cope with that as a manager?
Oh, I was quite lucky because I had Les Ferdinand, and he's been massive in my career. But even that, he's above me, so you're still managing that with him, and it's quite difficult to know where to gauge it. In the old days where the ownership of clubs was very much culturally British, sometimes you know where you're going with that. When you're dealing with people from very, very different cultures from around the world, you sort of, I wouldn't say you're guessing, but you're having to figure out how to manage that area, that element first. And also you have to also look at how do you manage people who are supremely wealthy, who most of the stuff that they can do to gain success is based on the finance that they put in place for it to happen. And football isn't that type of game. You can have the most expensive team and still not win the league. Whereas in normal business, normal everyday business, you can almost predict. I buy 100 of these and sell it for £110. And then I know that £100 will be X. There's a target set and also timelines. Whereas in football, timelines are always very short.
I remember prior to you coming in, Harry Redknapp spoke a lot emotionally around that in terms of how he dealt with certain Mavericks within the team and wages and superstars that were coming in, as you kind of mentioned. Did that challenge the dynamics on how to get the best team together to try and stay in the league and push on? Was that something that was just very complex at that time?
It very, very complex. And sometimes when you have a snowball going the wrong way, it's very hard to push it back up the hill, you know. And some of the times when you look at it and you think to yourself, what am I doing here? You have to believe in yourself, and you also have to believe in what you can control and what you can't control. You know, and sometimes the momentum goes against you, and no matter what you do, you know, like we always talk about, you know, someone has a shot, you have a shot, it hits the post on the outside and misses, and they have a shot that hits it on the inside and goes in. You know, it seems like that happens, and you know, in the end, the lead doesn't lie really over the course of the season.
What are your thoughts on QPR today?
Yeah, good. I think they're trying to work in a way that's going to help produce assets. But so did we when we were there. I think change happens at any stage of the game. So you know, they've got a good manager, and you know, they've employed two good people in John D'Souza and Kevin Betsy to help develop the players that are there. So, you know, ultimately it's one of those, you know, you can only work to the resources that you've got. And, you know, it's great that they're having a more comfortable season than they have in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, last year they did well to get out of the relegation zone last year. Obviously, me being a Birmingham fan, I know that because we went down, but they had a bit of momentum towards the end, didn't they? And they kind of pushed away, which was good to see from a good community club there in London.
Yeah, like a boutique club. Listen, I can't thank them enough, QPR, for the platform that they gave me. Yeah.